Hello, friends. Susan Axelrod here, the Confidence Coach. It's not 5 p.m. Eastern, but I have had a busy, filled week getting rid of stuff, going through my mother's home and getting it ready to go on the market. And this was the time that I know that I have available to come here and speak with you for a few minutes quietly without any stress or pressure. I own my own business. I run my own business. I make my own decisions. And so I'm coming to you live at 2:45 p.m. for Live in the Confidence Zone instead of 5 p.m. Eastern. I want to ask you to consider, what do you do when extreme emotion finds you? This is relevant in life and business. When you're in the intuitive business like I am, and like I teach with my intuitive business system, then life and business are intertwined. So if you find yourself facing extreme emotion, especially if it's something personally for you that is going to affect, possibly even derail your business, but surely it will have you feeling less than your supremely confident self. The mass murder in Texas yesterday was beyond words and beyond really the feeling, the ability to describe feelings. I have to admit that I was so consumed with the activity, the task. I was so focused on the task at hand. I haven't watched the news for days, really weeks. And so I did not know what happened until last night in my group when one of my group members informed me. I was in shock, but still put my emotions over to the side for a little while longer to do my business and conduct my group. After my group was over, I learned about what had happened. And I sat, as you did, in shock and trauma, not being able to imagine what everyone in that school, that community, that state, and the concentric circles out were going through. I found myself having to breathe through the extreme emotion, becoming paralyzed with anxiety or fear myself because I'm reacting to something does not serve me well, and it does not serve my clients in my business well, and it does not serve anyone I love well, and it does not serve humanity and the actual energy well at all. I have suffered extreme trauma myself and been in extreme emotion. Nothing like this, nothing, not anywhere near close to what these families and all of us are suffering from again with this senseless act of violence, gun violence. But even with what I have suffered, I've learned myself of the importance of processing through my emotions to allow my breath to start again after the total, utter, complete collapse of the ability to breathe when you're faced with something like this. You only have to be a breathing human to be personally deeply affected by this crime and by the crime in Buffalo and all the crimes that have come before through gun violence. I'm here today to invite you to consider yourself and what your tools are, how you process extreme emotion. Becoming completely, utterly derailed for extended periods of time from extreme emotion serves to create further extreme emotion. We are human first. We experience feelings. We suffer from emotional trauma and tragedy. And still, for those of us who can, it's important to find and catch your breath. The breath is the greatest tool you have. It's an absolute miracle to be able to breathe and to be able to breathe through these circumstances that are surrounding us for reasons that we simply cannot fathom, cannot understand, and honestly will never know. I feel like our job, each and every one of us, is to do the best we can to manage through however long it takes, in whatever way it takes, whatever tools you can use to manage through the extreme emotion so we can be part of the good and we can be part of the change and we can be part of the transformed energy of good in the world. Getting outside of ego and arrogance, looking all around you 360 degrees, as my friend Bert Foreman and I discussed on Monday night, seeing through the lens of another, imagining, using your imagination to evoke and invoke the feelings in you that you might imagine others have and are experiencing. All these things are absolutely vital to bring you back to center. You know, the confidence zone really, truly is simply your center. It's your center here. It's your soul connected center where you can still and all breathe, even in the face of this total, utter, senseless, devastating tragedy. It is important to feel the emotions that come up in you. And if you are a leader of any sort, organizational, business, community, family, group, if you're a leader of any sort, you have all the more responsibility to find your breath and to realize how deeply impacted people are. You have no idea at all how impacted people will be triggered by past events or living in fear and worry as a result of these situations. On Monday night in our podcast discussion, Bert and I discussed the hate shooting in Buffalo. And I said, my daughter lived 4 miles away from that hate shooting. And when she had to go to the supermarket the next time, she was affected and impacted by it. And that's one of the things that I wanted to speak with you about today, is to open your eyes, open your mind, open your heart to every human around you and to see and glean what they might be experiencing today. Any Black person is experiencing the terror and trauma over and over from so many other hate crimes. Any person who lost someone in the Oklahoma bombing, 9/11, or the other mass shootings is doubtless experiencing trauma and triggered by what happened yesterday to our children in Texas. Our job is to be in what I call humanity, be in humanity together with each other, even if we're only virtual, and certainly if we're in person, to understand that anyone around you might be suffering. Be kind, be gentle, and by all means, treat yourself the same way that you would treat others so you can find your center again, feel the confidence to keep going, which is what every one of us who can does need to do to help lift up and support anyone who can't. Okay, friends, that's it for today. Sending love everywhere it's needed. I will see you tomorrow for Live at 5.